give you a pass. Okay, it's like the system is designed to forgive foreigners while being harsh on the locals. Okay, it's not opportunity, that's privilege. Be honest with yourself. Okay, if the roles were switched, okay, and you take a local person and they get a chance to go to a different country and it's stacked more in their favor, they would take it, you know? All right, everybody talks about the adventures of living abroad, the new culture, the cheaper lifestyle, the freedom. But here's the ugly truth. Being an expat comes with privileges that locals don't have. And most expats never want to admit it. So today I'm pulling back the curtain on why life as an expat, what it's really like, the good, the bad, and the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to talk about. So hey, what's up with it, guys? I'm Expat D. If you're new here, I share real stories about expat life all around the world. If you ever wonder what it's like to live abroad, not just the Instagram fancy stuff, but the truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's be real, okay? The first privilege is money, okay? If you're not rich back home, okay? In many countries, if you earn dollar, if you earn euro, if you earn currencies like that, it stretches way further when you go abroad. You can live in an upscale apartment. You can hire domestic help, okay? You can eat at fancy or, like what's considered fancy restaurants, stuff that the locals can't even dream of. So just because of the passport you carry, there's so many benefits, okay? Locals work hard every day, but we expats, we often live at a level that's comfort, okay? That's way out of reach of the majority of the local people. But let's keep it real. This ain't candy and rainbows here. You're trying to tell me if you're 6'8" or 7 feet tall, and somebody wanted to offer you to play millions of dollars to play basketball, you would be like, no, I'm not gonna do it, okay? So, if you live in that world where you think looks don't matter, the tooth fairy's coming on Monday, okay, and you don't go to work to get paid, if you live in that world, that warped reality, you're just not keeping it real with yourself, okay? It's nothing wrong with having an advantage. Some of us have just found that, what we do or what we bring to the table is more valuable if you live in another country, okay? If you figure that out, okay, you can get a lot far ahead. A lot of people that's living in the West, they're just spinning their wheels. They're spinning their wheels, and it's just like a delusion. I don't know what they think is going to happen. That somehow I think society has made us think that somehow, some way, it's going to be our year the next year, and the reality is, they're just spinning their wheels, and the money that they make is just going to go to bills and other expenses, and they're going to keep themselves broke. Okay, but those that have understood that they can leave the rat race and try their luck in other countries, I'm not saying it works out for everybody that does it, but there's a lot of people that has tried it and they've got a solid plan and they stick with it, and they have a much better life outside the country. Okay, so but we got to be honest with ourselves. Okay, if the roles were switched, okay, and you take a local person and they get a chance to go to a different country and it's stacked more in their favor, they would take it. If they got in a situation and they got to another country, and the girls liked them a little bit better, they made a little bit more money and they stayed in a better place, you trying to tell me they wouldn't take that deal? You trying to tell me that? Okay, if you say no, a lot of times you full of it, man. You lying to yourself. Okay, so the golden rule pretty much is it's not where you live, it's how you live. Okay, you can even take it. You're looking at it like this. So the person in the country I'm at, person that cuts my hair, it only costs a couple dollars, like no more than like $3 or $4 to cut my hair. Okay, the same haircut in the States could cost anywhere from like 40 to 50 bucks. So sometimes you just, by switching environments, you may find that your skill set may just have more value. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's get to my next point. We're looking at the social pass. Okay, so here's another ugly truth. Okay, expats, they can get away with things that locals never could get away with. So you can walk into spaces, question rules, or break them outright, and somehow people might give you a pass. Okay, it's like the system is designed to forgive foreigners while being harsh on the locals. Okay, it's not opportunity, that's privilege. You know, I've seen that firsthand. So let's say, and this is not really dealing with breaking rules, but I notice I've worked at jobs, and just because of my passport, I've worked the same job and has made more than a local person, okay, or someone of a different passport. I've worked at jobs where we had different work hours, okay? If they had a different passport, they would have to work the same job 2 or 3 more hours in a day and make less money. It's not fair, I agree, but that's the rules that are put in place. So there's definitely advantages to that. Also, looking at the safety net, okay, that's my next point. Okay, it's a big privilege, okay? If things go wrong politically, socially, or financially, most expats can simply, they can go back, pack up their bags and leave, okay? Locals don't have that luxury, okay? They're tied to a system in a way that we never are, okay? And that creates an imbalance that we rarely acknowledge. Okay, I want to hear from you, okay, in the comments section, whether you're a local or you're an expat. Just out of curiosity, do you think expats abuse their privilege or it's just part of the deal? Okay, drop your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be replying. Okay, here's another hidden cost. Okay, so don't get me wrong. Expat life isn't all champagne and sunsets. There's loneliness, there's cultural shock, and sometimes there are resentments from locals. Okay, but compared to the struggles that people face every day, okay, and these hardships look different. Okay, that's why I'm acknowledging privilege matters. Okay, it keeps us humble and connected to reality. So in closing, okay, the next time you see those Instagram perfect expat photos, remember there's an ugly truth behind the story. Okay, living abroad is a privilege. Okay, the real test is how we use it. Okay, do we isolate ourselves or do we connect and give back to the communities that welcome us? All right, if you found this video eye-opening, okay, hit the like button. Okay, subscribe. Okay, and you'll get more unfiltered stories about expat life. Okay, I'm Expat D. I've been over 35 different countries. I've been traveling in and out of America since 2002. Okay, and way before there was a term called a passport bro, or even people talked about expats. I've been doing it, man. I've been doing it for a long time. So I got a lot of stories, and I really think just the whole expat life is misunderstood by expats and locals. And so I'm here to bridge that gap. All right, and then if you're someone that's interested in being an expat, okay, relocating, going through that process, check out my other videos. I have a lot on that. All right, so I'm Expat D. Thanks a lot for joining me. Peace and I'm out.